Shift 1, Sector 12. The LAX terminal doesn't sleep, just breathes in the drizzle and exhales the hum of 1,000 desperate departures. Above me, the holographic screens are screaming about a new life in the off-world colonies. Vivid, neon lies superimposed over a gray reality. Beneath the rhythmic whine of ascending spinners, I can hear them. The religious groups, they're chanting a low, steady pulse around the sound of the rain. It's a reminder that even in a city built on data and circuitry, people are still looking for something to believe in. But I'm here to process. Wallace is logging my biometrics. Holden is waiting for a result. Somewhere in the crowd of travelers and ghosts, there may be a piece of my own past waiting to be retired. It's time to work. Okay, so we are back for another play session of Blade Runner in solo mode. I have my character Love. She's all ready, got the character sheet ready. She is a prototype, Nexus 9, a secret passion project of Nyander Wallace, designed to prove that a replicant can serve openly and maybe even perfectly within the LAPD, so there's a lot of pressure on her with this case. Her hair is jet black, it's worn short, styled nicely. Her eyes are sharp, very focused. She, measures a room, she records data, things like that. And she is wearing something very minimalist fashion. She has a high-collared coat, very tailored silhouette. It's like muted blacks and deep blues and things like that. So there's no excess with her. So she is trying to be the mask of professional neutrality because she knows that she's supposed to be the future of law enforcement and trusted with the RDU's authority. But of course, she doesn't have any of its autonomy, at least not yet. So we're starting off here in Sector 12. We're at the LAX domestic terminal. And there's a drizzle rain. The shift is the morning. This is the morning shift. And the countdown die is a D6. And I have all the dice ready. I'm using physical dice. I can show them here on the screen. So here I have this solo mode sheet that I printed out. So I have Love here, and then Chief Holding is the commanding officer. And then this is where all the notes we've written down. This is a case log here. I'll probably start writing on the back as well at some point. But I have the 4 dice right here. So we're starting off at a D6. And according to the rules, we have the investigation procedure. So we proceed to the location. We're here. We're at LAX. So that is the Los Angeles airport, of course. And we make a countdown event check to see if we encounter an interruption or complication. So that will be the first thing that we do. Again, this is to keep the pressure on. It ticks away as you go about your investigation. So when this timer triggers, we can imagine a type of interruption or misfortune that forces us to change plans, deal with new information, or overcome some type of complications. So it's using these base dice. So we're going to start with the D6. And then we'll make a note of it in our case log. I'm not sure where I would make a note of it. I'll just have it I'll place it there just to know, I'll move the dice onto the sheet, whichever one is in play. So D6 is up first. So once per shift, make a roll. So if we roll 1 or more successes, which is the I symbol, the countdown event is triggered. So I'm going to roll. I hope a 6, well, on a D6, the highest I can get is a 6. So 6s are successes, 6 and above are successes in this game. And on a D6, I can only have a chance a 1 in 6. So chances are in my favor the smaller the die. So I'm going to roll and hopefully I do not roll a 6. So let's see. Yes, I rolled a 5. Okay, so I rolled a 5. So no event triggers. What happens? Future events are now more likely. So I will upgrade the timer to the next base type, which is going to be a D8. So it's it's positive. I didn't trigger an event, but it's it has its drawbacks. So now it's more likely. Now I have 3 more chances, 3 out of 8 instead of 1 out of 6 to roll a 6 or higher. So I will keep the D8 here, and then I will roll it when I get to the next location. So that is how that is going to work. Okay, so let's see what is next. Okay, so we have arrived at the location, and it says play out 1 or more scenes. Okay. Optionally, at the start of a scene or situation, you can make a scene check to help set the complexity and danger. So I am going to do that because I'm unsure where. I think this will help spark some ideas because I'm unsure of where we're standing now. I know that I need clues and start to investigate, but let's see what happens. So scene check. Okay, so I'll roll a scene check. So you're going to roll a D8 base die, and then I will check on a table. Basically, it's just like when you're rolling anything in this game. 6 and above is more in your favor, and then 5 and below is not. So I'm gonna roll a D8 and see, because I'm at LAX. It's the beginning of this scene, so let's see how it goes. So I'm gonna roll a D8. Oh my god, I rolled a 1. Oh my gosh. Okay, so the result is complicated. Okay, so because I rolled a 1, the table says, on top of 1 or more skill rolls, overcoming the situation may require some combination of extra time, different approaches, more resources, additional risk, or rolling with a disadvantage. So the environment is definitely not cooperative with me. It's actively trying to obstruct me, I'm going to say. As I approach the main security threshold, the atmosphere shifts. And maybe the chanting religious group, so they're not just passing through, they've staged a humanity first sit-in right at the biometric gate. So their orange robes, they're forming like this physical wall against the terminal floor. Because of the protest, the LAPD, and of course, let's add in the NPC that we created. The LAPD is led by a very unbothered Kylo Kawasaki, and he has switched the automated gates to manual replicant verification, is what it says. And Wallace Corp's heavy-handed oversight is kicking in here. And then I see that my KI unit, it flashes red. Credentials flagged for Sector 12 manual audit. So I'm now being forced into a high security queue where every sensor is tuned to Nexus biometrics. If I could try to bypass the line using stealth or manipulation, but I'll roll with disadvantage because the security drones are on high alert due to the protesters. So yeah, so to even get inside, I need to find someone or maybe use the religious group as a distraction or something. Kylo Kawasaki he's using the chaos, as an excuse to ignore RDU authority. So he's very aloof, is what I rolled for him. So he's like actively refusing to clear the biometric lock. He says for a Wallace prototype until the human citizens are processed first. Move to the back of the line, he says. He has a cigarette too. So how do we handle this delay? We need to get inside LAX, but now we got this complication. I could try to force my way in. My stealth isn't good. My stealth is just a D6. It would be a D8 and a D6. I could wait, but that would take extra time. It would probably take another shift up, maybe. I don't know. How about I'm going to talk to Kylo Kawasaki. I'm going to say, please just let me in. I'm trying to do my job here, and I will be in and out as soon as possible. Okay, so I'm just going to tell him that I want to be in and out of here as much as he wants to as well, and I'll be out of his hair soon enough. And so I'm going to try to trying to get in here. I'm going to roll with manipulation, so let's see how that goes. And it is at disadvantage, unfortunately. No, that's a 2, but I can push. Okay, I can push. Let's see. Come on. Yes. Yes. Oh my god, I got one success. That's all I needed. So, Kawasaki, he stares at me through the rain. I can see the ads reflecting in his tired eyes. But he likes that promise for me to be out of his hair. I think it hits the right note, and so he taps a command on his gauntlet and overrides the biometric lock. He says, fine. You're not going through the front. Those Humanity First zealots are looking for a reason to tear a Wallace prototype apart, and I'm not looking to fill out paperwork for your disassembly. He says it calmly, and he says, there's a service bypass. I'll drop you right in. It'll drop you into the terminal's maintenance hub, he tells me. So we move to Scene 2. I'm inside. I had to go through like the terminal's maintenance hub. But while I'm here, why not start questioning people? So I am now in a new scene. Don't have to make scene checks all the time. They're mostly when you're uncertain. But I do want to start questioning people here for clues to see if anyone has seen anyone handling samples as of late. Anything like that. So right now I'm looking at the scene categories table and I'm questioning people. So that is interviewing or interrogating a person. I can use connections to request a meeting, insight, manipulation. I can use tech. I think insight is a good one, but I am trying to gather clues here. So I'm now in this maintenance area and there's like, small group of, there's a few workers here. They're huddled around like a diagnostic terminal. So yes, I want to start questioning them about anyone handling samples. So I'm looking for a clue. Okay, so gathering clues. A success on the roll reveals a clue. On a critical success, you imagine how this clue offers unexpected insight or leads you, like a flashing signpost, to the next obvious action, scene, or location. If you fail to roll a success, you come up empty. So yes, I'm going to do a manipulation roll. I'm trying to get answers here. I could use insight to see if any of them look like they're holding back, but let's go with manipulation first. So here's that manipulation roll. Let's go. Oh, yes. Okay, so I rolled a 7 on the D8. So I will accept that. So I get a clue. I could use the case file tables to help with inspiration for the nature of the clue. There's cipher tables and there's clue tables. Okay, so let's roll on the clue tables and see what we get. So the meaning table helps reveal how a new clue, such as physical evidence, etc., connects to other aspects. So the meaning, so let's roll a D8. This is the meaning table. So 1. So it involves your personal experiences or memories. Oh my god, it's I'm just saying, like, we already know that her ex-lover is part of is so involved in the case somehow. Oh no. Okay. So I'm gonna roll a D6 to see which section we get, because there's 2 different columns. Okay, that's a 1. And then I'm gonna roll a D10, I believe, to see what the result is. This is the evidence descriptor. Okay, that's an 8. So it is flawed. And then I'll roll another D10. And that's a 2. So it is flawed and it conflicts with the previously understood aspect of the case. Okay, so what I'm thinking is it's pointing more and more to her ex-lover, and since it conflicts, I think what I get is that they saw someone with red hair come in here and handle some samples, but this witness could have swore when they left their hair was a brunette color, but they still recognized the outfit and face. They said, I saw them a few hours back down here in the service tunnels. They were moving fast. They were clutching a thermal case like it was a damn infant. Had red hair, possible to miss. And then they say, but that's the thing. When they reached the maglev, I saw them look back. The red was gone, just dark, plain brunette. But it was the same face. So they're a little bit, it does conflict with the briefing because Holden's report stated the suspect did not have red hair. Yet this witness describes a striking red that only vanished later. So we got a new clue. Witness report of a suspect with shifting hair color. It might be too early for the hypothesis, but I mean, I'm adding it in. There's a high possibility that the perpetrator is Love's ex-lover. So right now, at the end of each shift, consider the impact of new information on your hypotheses. If you're inspired to form a new hypothesis, add it to the case log and give it a D6 rating. So it does have a D6. I'm just going to put that there. And I know I'm supposed to do that at the end, but I'm just going to write it now before I forget. And then it gives it a die rating, then it can upgrade or downgrade. I also want to do a question check. Basic questions that can be answered with a yes or no. What question do I want to ask? Simple, but I'm going to ask, was this person about 6 feet tall? Okay. I'm going to roll a D10 and see. Oh, it's a 7. That's a yes. Oh my gosh. Wow. I think next where I'm going to go, I'm going to thank the witness. And then I'm going to make my way over to the maglev junction. Maglev, because that's where they said they kind of ran off to. So this would be scene 3. So I asked them. So as I leave, the witness says, "Yeah, tall, easily 6 feet. They had a way of standing. Most people just hunch down here, trying to stay small. But this one, not this one. They didn't, So that is a confirmed clue. Suspect is approximately 6 feet tall. That's another clue. So I move deeper into the underbelly of this spaceport, or LAX, and I'm heading over to the maglev junction. And the air here is a little bit more staticky. There's like massive magnetic rails that curve through the darkness, and they're carrying these high-speed transit pods at this airport. Very, a lot of high traffic. There's maintenance drones, heavy freight lifters, and according to the witness, the suspect, 6-foot brunette who may or may not have had red hair, paused right here under the high-frequency scanners. So now I want to inspect the junction for any type of physical evidence or digital traces of the suspect's passage. This is a new scene. I can make a scene check to see if it presents any new difficulties, or I can go straight into it. No, I think scene checks. I think I'm understanding it more. It's more like I don't know what I should do, so I'll make a scene check. But I do want to investigate. So let's see. This is more like a research or a search, actually. So inspecting a location for clues. So observation, tech, or force. I can do observation to locate physical evidence, or I can do tech to access or operate specialized gear. Ooh, I'm going to use tech because I do have specialized gear. So there is a terminal nearby. I'm going to tap into it and see if I can find anything unusual. I'm going to look through its like past logs. Okay, so let's roll for tech. Ooh, that's a 4 and a 3. I can push. Okay, let's push it. Oh, yes. Yes, I love pushing in this game. Rolled a 6. Okay, so it's a success, so let's see what it is. Let's use the clue tables. So that's a 3. It firms. Oh my gosh, I rolled a 3, and a 3 on this table. The meaning is it affirms a previous factor clue. Oh my gosh. This is crazy when I roll on tables and it just clicks perfectly. Okay. So that was the meaning. So this is the evidence descriptor. So I'll roll a d6 first. Okay, so it's a 6. So it's going to be on a different column. So I'm going to roll a d10. Okay, that's a 5. So I got that the result is replaced. That's what I'm seeing. Replaced what? So I'm going to roll one more d10 and see what was replaced. 9. Replaced. It is unremarkable or inconspicuous. So it replaced something. So, replace something. So I was able to, I bypassed the terminal's encryption. I accessed the junction's local security buffer. And as I'm looking at this cold data, you could see it reflecting in my eyes as I'm pulling up recent logs. Raw sensor data confirms there was some type of high-frequency scan. The height, it like scans something or someone, and the height is recorded as 183 centimeters, which is approximately 6 feet. So I did get a direct match for like a physical profile. And then I'm digging into the video subdirectory. I find footage for that specific, there's like a 3-minute window that has been replaced. In its place is a standard low priority maintenance loop of an empty corridor. Now most people, oh, that's nothing. It looks completely unremarkable, right? So it is an inconspicuous like patch job designed to blend into the hours of mundane static here at a busy junction. However, I detect a little stutter in the frame rate. And then I get my KIA, my device unit, data inconsistency detected. Log for further analysis. So we have played out 3 scenes. We have a good amount of information. So we did the entry, just getting in here. We were talking in the maintenance hub, and then we did the maglev junction scenes. So according to the solo loop, if we look back at it, we made the skill rolls. Once all scenes at a location are resolved, we can consider the information we've gained. We can update our case log and review our hypotheses. So my primary theory has gained pretty significant weight. So we are now at the point where we're going to review our clues and see what hypotheses we have. The hypothesis right now is my former lover is a suspect who stole the Wallace lab samples. The current rating is a D6. I've learned the facts that make this hypothesis more likely, specifically the height match and the technical expertise required to swap that footage. So I would say the new rating is now a D8. If you upgrade a hypothesis that is already rated with a D12, you can add a second die. Haven't done that. Haven't found any information that contradicts it. So yeah. I don't think we make the hypothesis check just yet. I think that is when you take an action or counter a circumstance which will conclusively prove or disprove a hypothesis, then you make the hypothesis check. But that's more, we still definitely need more information. So the morning shift is now complete. And so preparing to leave LAX. It is now turned into a steady cold downpour here. Next shift is day. We are in morning. Now we moved what is the 4? Yes, it's morning, day, evening, and night. Okay. Now we're solidly in the day. It's gray, it's overcast, as usual. Where are we heading next? There's a few places we can go. So they use the maglev system. We could use, tech to determine where the high-speed transit pods from that specific junction we're heading. Potentially Wallace Corp, DNA Row, maybe Nightclub Row. Could be going to the entertainment district. Who knows? There's also the witness described shifting hair, so that maybe there's high-end holographic disguise or biomodification. Actually, I could go to LAPD headquarters. I might need the mainframe's like processing power to deconstruct the replaced footage or see if like the suspect's biometrics trigger any other hits. I think the shifting tech. So maybe Sector 4, it's the industrial district, and then there's Sector 9, which is the commercial district. Let's go to Sector 4. Yep, Sector 4 makes the most sense. And we're going to go to DNA row. Specifically in DNA row, I'm going to roll a d6 to see where. There's a few locations there. So first, we'll go to Atinko BioWares. So definitely the logic here is we're following the nature of the tech. So yeah. And because I'm moving to a new location, I have my D8 for the countdown die. We are moving to a new location. We get in, I get in my spinner and I drive across town. There's a steady rain, there's smog. And I make my way to Sector 4, which is the industrial district. And it's massive. There's holograms of the perfect human specimen. And below all this, we see Antinko BioWares. It's nestled between some high-end genetic clinics. A boutique shop. It's known for cutting-edge, often questionable aesthetic modifications. So, if someone is using tech to shift their hair color from a bright red to maybe a brunette in seconds, the architects of that tech likely have a footprint here. So, that's what we're going to do. One shift has passed, as we know, so it's now the day shift. So what I'm going to do is I have the countdown die, and that's at a D8. I have the die here. So let's roll it. If I roll a 6, 7, or 8, there's a complication. So 5 or lower, the city is quiet for now. So I'm going to roll it. Oh, you can't see? That is a 5. I rolled it right there. Whoa. Okay, I rolled a 5. But the timer does upgrade to a D10 for the next location. Wow. Okay. It's all good. So now a D10 is swapped in. It's fine. Totally fine. We will move on, not think about it till we get to the next location. Okay, so we did that. That's step 1. We did the countdown check. So at the location, now we will play out one or more scenes. Occasionally at the start of a scene, you can make a scene check. So a lot of these tables are optional to stand in as the GM. Like the GM would usually provide, here are the stakes. But this is what the scene check would do if there are any. But I'm going to head and sign to Antinko BioWares. I believe, yeah. So I head inside. It's a little minimalist storefront, glass, and lots of glass in here. Pretty silent. I'm stepping inside this pretty sterile quiet of this clinic, and I have a few ways I can proceed. I can do scene check. Let's do a scene check, because I'm not sure. I know that I want to question people, of course. But I liked the scene check at the beginning of the airport. That just made things a little bit more interesting, so let's see. I mean, I think I'll do a little manipulation. I'll flash my RDU badge to the attendant and like ask for sales logs and stuff like that. But let's see what's here. Let's see what happens first. So a scene check is a D8. So I will roll that. Okay, I rolled an 8. Okay. Oh my god, favorable. That's the highest. So the result is favorable. Nice, I'll take it. Okay, so it's favorable. That means probably does not require a skill roll. Well, if one is required, it is made with advantage. Nice. And then one of the examples given is, the witness has unexpected insight. A clue at the crime scene provides a promising break in the case. The data you seek connects to some other aspect of the case in a surprising way. So as I make my way in, the attendant behind the counter seems like a polished high-end model. Whether it's human or synthetic, it's hard to tell. Under like the flawless, like porcelain-like skin, it could be human or replicant. Can't really tell. But when I flash my RDU badge and I state my request, and I just say, "Listen, this is just a routine check. And I want to see over the past 6 months who had gotten this particular type of work done." And then I explain about the shifting hair color and things like that. I might even explain, there could have been a person coming in here about 6 feet tall in particular. And so they will let me know. They say, "A routine check, of course, detective. Actually, you've arrived at a very opportune moment." And they let me know about a new piece of tech that shifts the pigment. It allows for rapid, localized hair color changes. It's a very boutique, restricted access line. We've only had one client authorized for that specific modification in the last year. Oh? And they tap a finger against a translucent display, and a file slides towards my KDU unit. And it's called the Mirage K. Okay, so only one person used it in the past year. This confirms the shifting tech is real and originated here. So, maybe even they say the client was here just 3 days ago for a final calibration. And they didn't pay in Chinyan. They used a restricted Wallace Corp internal voucher. Ooh. Get that clue. They used a Wallace Corp internal voucher. This suggests that this person either has or still has high-level access or stolen more than just lab samples. Wallace Corp might be a location. Unexpected insight. So I got that information. I think I'm going to push for a little bit more. I want to retrieve some high-resolution image of the suspect during their visit. So I want to interface with the clinic's internal security system. So I can roll with advantage. The attendant brings me back to their security office in the back, and I'm going to use tech or observation to scrub the archives. I'll use tech, and I have advantage. Let's see what I get. Oh, nice! I got 2 successes. And so I connect to their systems and my KIA unit, and I see oversight active, recording local data stream. Now I'm going to roll on the clues tables. So when I'm finding clues, it says on a critical success, which is more than 1 success. I imagine how this clue offers unexpected insight or leads you to the next obvious scene or location. Okay, so I'm looking at the clues. Again, we're going to roll on the meaning table. It's a 5. So connects to a new location. Okay. Okay, so now I'm going to roll a D10. Okay, that's a 6. So it's disturbed is the result, is the evidence descriptor. And I'm going to roll one more D10. Okay, and that is a 10. And it bears a message or symbol. Oh. Okay, so that was a critical success. My hypothesis is getting stronger, maybe, but there's still some stuff. We know that this person is connected. We know the X lever is connected, but we don't know. Do we know per se that they took the samples, right? They're up to something for sure, but I need more concrete evidence that they're the ones that stole the samples. So I'm scrubbing through the security archives from a few days ago. The footage is mostly clean. And it shows the suspect sitting in a dental-style chair. And first, their back and head is to us, so you can't quite see them just yet. And then the technician has to turn the chair around and lay them down. And it's confirmed. I enhance a single frozen frame, and it shows their face. It is Love's former lover. But they aren't looking at the technician. They're looking directly into the security camera. It's a little uncanny. And on their neck, just below the jawline, is a fresh, raw symbol that wasn't in my memories before. It's like a stylized, geometric, we'll say the letter S, it's an intertwined with a serpent. That's the mark of the snake pit. It's a notorious dive bar in Sector 1. Okay, so it looks like we do need to go to the snake pit in Sector 1. And it is more like a message. They're looking right at the security camera. It's like they wanted me to find this. They knew I'd come here and look at this footage. So they're leaving some type of like digital scar. So this connects to a new location. This is the snake pit in Sector 1, Nightclub Row. So this seems like an invitation, like they want to be found, but on their home turf. And I think we're pretty much finished here. Okay, so we move to the evening shift. So we have all the information. I've updated the case log and then review the hypotheses. I mean, the main hypothesis is that strong suspicions that the perpetrator is my ex-lover. And then return to step 1. That shift is complete. I now have a D10 for the countdown clock. But yeah, that's the thing but the other thing on my mind is that the physical evidence matches and there's digital like breadcrumbs. Those are undeniable, but there's no smoking gun footage of them holding the vials. So that's nagging at me. I do want to get that. So get back in the spinner. We leave DNA row. Rain follows me as we make our way across the sector. Now heading to Sector 1. Now we're in Nightclub Row. We get down here, lots of neon signs, pinks, electric blues, greens, and the air here is thick with the smell of cheap noodles exhaust and heavy bass of synth pop. And it's the evening now, so people are coming out to party. We are now at the snake pit. So let's roll that D10. This is the countdown event check as I'm about to step off my spinner into the chaos of this district. Okay, a result of 6 or higher, the city pushes back. Let's see. Okay, rolling that D10. Oh, that is a 9. At least it means that it doesn't upgrade, right? I rolled a 9. Okay, so the city is pushing back against me. I'm going to roll in the countdown event table, which is going to be a D12. Okay, that's a 3, so I got confrontation. Of course it's confrontation. Examples: ambush, pursued, or snatched. Uh-oh, I'm asking too many questions. Okay, so let's say I parked in the alley, it's raining, it's near the snake pit. 3 street thugs have moved into strategic flanking positions. I rolled for them to see like how powerful they are, I guess, and I rolled unskilled. So, but they have me surrounded. All 3 are engaged, so it's hand-to-hand distance. They have brass knuckles and knives. So we roll for initiative. We need to see who acts first. So I'm gonna roll for myself. In this game, you can like draw cards. I have cards. They're just somewhere else. So I'm gonna roll a D10. Lowest number goes first. So then I'll roll for the thugs as a group. So let me roll a D10. This one's gonna be for love. Okay, that's a 2. Ooh, not bad. Okay, I'm gonna re-roll, roll again, unless I roll a 1 for the thugs, but this is gonna be the thugs roll. Nice, I rolled an 8. Okay, so I'm going to go first, and then they're going to go. So, on my turn, I can move one zone or change range, and then perform one action. So, I'm engaged, so I can do some hand-to-hand stuff. I could do firearms, possibly grapple or disarm. Let's see. I could pull out my firearm. Should I do that? But like, what are my stats with strength and close combat? It's not bad. Hand to hand, I'd be rolling a d10 and a d6. Let's do that first. Let's do hand to hand. I'm trying to knock out one of them. Hit him right in the pressure point. Okay, so I'm doing hand to hand. So that is strength. I am rolling. Am I staying? Yeah, I'm staying engaged. Also. In the engaged zone. So I'm not moving back just yet. So let's roll. Come on, come on, come on. Oh my gosh. It was so close to a 10. We're pushing it. Let's go. Oh, okay. I got one success, but I did roll the origami. So my resolve does go down to 2. Ooh. Oh my god. Okay, so I move with precision. My first strike is I hit him. I push my systems. Then I do the second strike. That one goes a little bit better. And then my hands find the pressure point. And then we hear that thud as he falls to the ground. Eyes roll back. One of them collapses into a puddle. However, that surge does take a toll. My resolve drops. There's 2 remaining. Now, the remaining 2 thugs, they are strategic. They are not deterred. They see their friend drop. It makes them more desperate to finish quickly. And they move to flank. So thug 2 is going to hit me with brass knuckles. They are attacking in close combat. So I'm going to roll for them. That's going to be a d6. So if they hit, if I have 6+, of course. Well, I can only roll with the 6, actually. I can choose to block. But I know I've already acted, so I'll have to take the hit or hope they miss. So this is thug number 1 with the brass knuckles. I believe it's 2d6. Okay, let's roll for thug number 1. They have the brass knuckles. I'm rolling 2d6 to see if any of them land. Oh, I rolled a 6 for 1. Oh no. That's a 4 and a 6. Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, he gets me good. Okay, rolling for thug number 2. This one has the knife. So again, 2d6. Oh, okay, 4 and a 1. So the thug with the brass knuckles catches me as I recover from the pressure point strike. He steps into my guard, and he drives this heavy, like those metal reinforced fists, right into my shoulder. I can feel it vibrating through my frame. The second thug, he has the folding knife, overextends, blade whistles through the empty air where my midsection was a split second before, and I move out of the way. Almost loses his footing. But the brass knuckles do get me for 2 damage. Ouch. Okay, we gotta stop playing around. He hit me in the shoulder. I know what I'm gonna do. Pull out the pistol. So it's my turn. I'm still engaged with both. Rain is coming down harder now. You could see the blood and the grease is going into the gutters in this alleyway. Going to draw fire. Let's do this. So I'm moving back 1 zone, so it's engaged, and then I believe close is next. Yeah, so it's engaged. Oh, short, medium, long, extreme. So I'm moving to short range. Also, it's crazy that brass knuckles does 2 damage and a knife does 1. Okay. I move to short range, I back up, and then I fire at thug number 1. He's the one that hit me. So that will be agility and my firearm stat. I take careful aim. Time to roll. Oh my god. Wow. The base die. Oh my god, that's 3 successes. Whoa. That does 2 damage. Oh my god, this guy's dead. He's dead. So, 3 successes. It means I inflict a critical injury, and the total damage is the weapon's base damage plus 2. So that is 4 damage with an increased chance of a more severe critical injury. Wow, so it looks like it did crit? Yes, a critical success is achieved when you roll 2 or more successes. Okay, so that was critical injury, so I'm going to roll a d12 and see what that critical injury was. Okay, that's a 9. And that was piercing damage. So it is massive internal organ damage. It is lethal, yes. Wow. Yep. So it's lethal, so the character must make a death save, a stamina roll within a specified time. Okay, so I draw that my PKD gun. I step back into short range. The heavy blaster is extension from my hand. I pull the trigger, and a 44 special round tears. You can hear it tears through the alley in the muscle fash, illuminates everything for a second, and it is devastating. With those 3 successes, that force is pretty much overwhelming. So I have the base 2 plus 1 for the second success, and then another 1 for the third, and it causes massive internal organ damage. And I see the lead thug is thrown backward against a brick wall, and the impact is final. He will not be getting back up. The third thug, the one with a knife, he freezes. He looks to his fallen comrades, and he's holding, and he sees me holding the smoking PKD. And that strategic confidence he had a moment ago is now terror. He drops the knife, and then he raises his hands. See his knees shaking a little. My next move, I'm going to interrogate this guy. I'm going to walk closer. I'm walking closer to him. I have my gun in his face. My gun is in his face, and then he backs up into the wall and bumps into his fallen friend. So yeah, I'm using that fear. I need to get information. Who hired them? Okay. Then I might ask for more information about the snake pit after. Might detain him, but I won't let him know. Gotta get him to talk first. So that sounds like... It sounds like manipulation, but I did just kill one of his friends and then knocked another one out. So I believe I have advantage. That would be the advantage. Okay. Got 1 success. Okay, so 1 success in this game. This is solo, and I'm looking for clues and information. So let's roll on the clues table and see what it all means. Okay. 2. Contradicts a previous fact or clue. 1, 4. So counterfeit. Counterfeit, and 10 is it bears a message or symbol. I already got that. Let's do 5. It hides its true nature or purpose. Okay, so I rolled and I got some stuff. So I got the barrel of the PKD pointed dead center onto his forehead so he can feel that pressure. I rolled that it is it's a counterfeit truth, basically. So the revelation or the meaning was that it is a contradiction of a previous fact or clue. The thug, he's stammering. He says, "Hey, we were told to wait in the alley for a Wallace suit by a woman with bright red hair." What? And this directly contradicts my earlier finding that the suspect had shifted to brunette to hide. This person is just going back and forth, it seems. So I'm thinking the counterfeit descriptor, it suggests that this ambush was a setup. Maybe something to make me believe the suspect is still red and still in the area. So it hides its true nature. They wanted you to catch these thugs. They wanted me. Yeah, they wanted me to catch these thugs so I could receive this specific misleading message. So, of course, this ambush was orchestrated. Okay. Yeah, I think the suspect is likely aware of my investigation and is feeding me counterfeit leads to control my movement. The thug says she said you'd want to know she's waiting inside at the back booth. But I swear she had red hair. I swear. So I'm going to see if he's lying. Is he lying to me? A question I'm going to ask. And then there's the question oracle. Make a question check. So I'm going to roll a d10. That's a 1. Ooh, that's an extreme no. Okay, so I'm also going to detain him. So I arrest him, I turn him around, flip him up against the wall, and cuff him, and then I call in LAPD to come pick them all up. But yeah, that extreme no, this man is not lying. He does have genuine fear. He's convinced of every word he says. He truly believes there is a woman with red hair sent him to die in this alley, or at least to ambush me. But the counterfeit nature of the clue, it does suggest that while he's honest, maybe the information he was given is a fabrication. So maybe someone is using someone is using the former lover's old appearance, maybe. So I will add that to the hypothesis. But yeah, I call into LAPD dispatch. Sector 1, Nightclub Row, alleyway adjacent to the snake pit. 3 suspects detained. 1 code blue. Send a cleanup crew and a transport unit. Wallace priority. And then we hear, copy that, detective. Units are 3 minutes out. Hold your position. What? I can't wait. I tie them all together. I leave them all slumped against the wall. Man, that was all scene 1. Scene 2, we are inside the snake pit now. So I push inside. Transition is a little bit jarring. Smell of stale tobacco, gin, unwashed bodies. But there's red neon lights in here. The music is low, and the bar is crowded. There's scavengers, low-level dealers in here. Off-duty workers. So, yeah, we're in the evening shift. Snake pit. The countdown dies at D10. So, I am looking for the person who set that ambush. The thug claimed a redhead was in the booth, but my tech logs from the clinic suggested a brunette transition. So, I'm definitely going to do some observation. I'm just looking for right now. I'm scanning the area. Okay, so observation as I'm looking around. So let's see. Here's my roll. Oh, nice. I rolled a 10. I'm going to accept that. And that's 2 successes. Nice. So what do I learn? So I rolled on the tables, the clue table, and I got the meaning of what I see. It affirms a previous fact or clue. And then the descriptor is familiar, but it is modified from its original form or function. And since this was a critical success, I can imagine how this clue offers unexpected insight or leads me to the next obvious action, scene, or location. Okay, so head inside, got the 2 successes on that observation roll. And so I'm thinking I catch a detail. In a darkened booth, and I'm looking near the back of the club, I spot a figure. And it's familiar because I rolled the clues and I got something familiar but modified. So it's the way the figure sits. I see the shoulders are squared. And I kind of continue to look in. It does look like the exact posture of my former lover. But I see the red hair in quotation marks that the thug mentioned. However, I do see that it is modified. That's not a natural pigment or even the standard dye. But it does, I see the shimmering, like holographic overlay flickers ever so slightly. And this confirms my second hypothesis that someone is using my ex-lover's appearance to draw me in. There's an unexpected insight as well. I watch this red-haired figure and I notice they aren't alone. Another thing. Standing at the bar, watching the booth at the same time, is one of the main NPCs I rolled up. It's Harley. I believe their name was Harley Molo? Yes, Harley Molo. They're a scavenger, full of attitude. They have street-level access. They know things. They don't like cops or corporations, of course. Harley, he's not talking to anyone, but he is positioned perfectly to intercept anyone approaching that booth, I can tell. He's holding a glass of alcohol. But his eyes never leave the redhead. So, this might suggest that the decoy isn't working alone. Maybe they're being protected or monitored. Okay. Interesting. So it does look like the redhead is bait in the back booth. Maybe Harley is the muscle. I do have a drop on them. I do know their plan, kind of, but Harley's eyes are scanning the room. I can approach Harley. I could try to circumvent, use the dance floor, like the crowded dance floor, to sneak around the back of the booth, surprise the redhead. Let's ask a question. Let's do a question check. Is there an exit? Is there an exit or a corridor near that booth? That's what I'm going to ask. Because I want to get this person alone. Okay, so let's make that question check. Obviously, the higher the better. That'll be helpful for me, but let's roll it D10 and see what we get. Ooh, that's a 4. Nope. So there's no back exit. It's probably just a wall. Okay, I'm still gonna try to circumvent. Are there private rooms in this place? That's another question. Are there private rooms here at least? So let's roll another D10 and see. That's a 1. An extreme, no. Okay, I get it. Okay. Oh, looks like the only way. Wait, I think I have a map of this place. Well, this is like an official place in District 1. This is the Snake Pit. Probably didn't need to ask the question. Yeah, this place definitely has rooms. You know what? I know I rolled the question check, but this is the Snake Pit. It's a famous place. I think there are private rooms back here, so I'm gonna try to get them in there if I can. I don't know how just yet. So I'm gonna try to use the crowd to help with distraction and try to surprise them. So the lack of the back exit means the redhead is boxed in, but the existence of those private rooms, it does provide a perfect controlled environment for interrogation. So I'm moving through the crowd, and there's the bodies between me and Harley's line of sight at the bar. I'm trying to be stealthy, of course.
Because why not?
Okay, so I'm thinking about making some type of stealth roll because I don't want Harley to see me, but I do need to get to the redhead. The redhead is not. It's literally they have red hair. That's where that's coming from. Like bright red. Don't have a name for them yet because I don't know who it is. I do want to force them toward a private room without Harley intervening, so I need to navigate certain blind spots. I'm going to attempt a stealth roll, and let's see how that goes. Come on. Oh, yes! That is a critical success! Oh my god. Okay. So, I'm slipping through the crowd. I'm like a ghost. I'm timing my steps with the music and the lights pulsating in here. Harley remains at the bar, and his attention is, momentarily diverted by a server, completely unaware. that I'm moving through. So I reach the booth, and before the figure can even turn their head, I have the heavy muzzle of my PKD pressed firmly against their spine. I say, stand up, slowly. We're going to go back to the back corridor. If you look at the bar, you won't make it to the door. And then they comply, and I see that their movements are stiff, maybe even a little scared. And so I guide them through the press of bodies into a cramped, dim, private room, and the door hisses shut. And it cuts the music. You can hear like the muffled music through the outside. There's flickering utility light in this private room. And as they turn around, that is where we're going to end this play session. Oh my God, who's it gonna be? Who's it gonna be? But yeah, thanks for listening along if you did, or watching along. I'm having quite a good time with Blade Runner, and I need to double check, but I heard that Sean Tompkin was the one who helped with these rules. Let me check. Google is free, so let's see. I'm not sure. I'm not sure who wrote the solo rules for this, but I know that Sean Tompkin did help in another Free League solo rules supplement, and he's really good. Love his Starforge and Ironsworn games, but I'm really liking these rules here. They provide just enough to really help me and push me forward, and when I get stuck, there's tables to roll on. So I'm having a really good time. We are still in right now. The shift that we were in is evening, and then after that will be downtime, or it'll be the night shift where I will do downtime. Where I could skip it, but that would be to my detriment. But we're in the evening now. When we return, we will see who this imposter is.